show is even going to be greater. Michael, a long-time resident of New York, who claims that his neighbor is a communist. And guess this, his neighbor's name is Carl. Okay, before we start, let's come out and meet Michael here. Michael, come on. Okay, before we ask Michael about his neighbor, Michael, could you tell us what do you think of the United States?
Why, this is God's country, Jerry. When I see those terrorists burning our flag, why, I just want to nuke them. I wake up every morning, fall to my knees, and thank God I'm American.
That's really great. Now, why don't you tell us about your neighbor, Michael? When did you first start to become a major worry?
Well, it all started on the 5th of last month. As you may remember, on the 4th, the stock market took a bit of a tumble, and I, like many good Americans, well, I lost a bit of money. I saw Carl on the morning of the 5th, and he was smiling. I said, Carl, what's the matter? Didn't you lose money? And do you know what he said, Jerry?
Don't you tell us.
He said he didn't have any shares.
Oh! Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Not every American owns shares. I mean, some liberals prefer property. I know I wouldn't want to live next to a hippie liberal, but this is America, and we're a democracy, and they do have their rights.
Well, that's just what I thought, Jerry. I spoke to my wife about it, and we decided not to move. Like good Americans, we would accept their differences.
Great. It's a wonderful country, but things got much worse, didn't they?
Yes, they did, Jerry. You see, the next day I ran into Carl again, and I asked him about his property investments. Well, to my absolute horror, he didn't have any of those either.
Wait a minute, there was still more, wasn't there?
Oh, yes, there was. I told Carl I would pray for him, and he said, don't bother, because he didn't believe in God. There was lots more.
Yeah, there's lots more. You tell us.
Well, I was in shock, but I could see Carl was on his way out, so I asked him where he was going. Do you know what he said, Jerry?
No, you tell us.
He said he was going to the World Trade Organization meeting. Well, I was so relieved. I mean, I'd seen my whole life flash before my eyes, but when he said those magic words, I got it all back again.
Well, that would make me feel a lot better. All of you guys there feel a lot better. But it was very sharp-wit, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You see, I innocently remarked to Carl he'd better watch out for those protesters. And he said, what do you mean? I'm going there to protest.
He said he was going there to protest?
You're damn right he did, Jerry.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, there wasn't much I could do. I mean, I felt like he just wiped his ass with the American flag and shoved it under my nose. I mean, I knew those protesters existed. I'd seen them on the TV, but I never in my worst nightmare dreamed I'd have to meet one. Let alone live next door to one, Jerry.
I know everybody at home and everybody in the studio, we feel exactly the same as you, Michael. But it was even more, wasn't it?
Yes, and thank you, Jerry. That's quite comforting. Yes, there was more. You see, well, I could see that Carl had gone when I came to. So I raced straight out and bought 30 grand worth of surveillance equipment to spy on.
And then you used American wood. And what did you find out when you spied on him?
Oh, shoot, Jerry. I still can't believe it.
Try, be strong.
Well, I got home on the Monday and it was hot. Even when I got inside, took off my tie and undid the top button of my shirt. Just the top button, mind you.
Well, yeah, sure. It was hot, wasn't it, folks?
Anyway, this Carl and his so-called female partner got inside. And you know what they did?
Oh, no, tell us.
They got inside their door, and they both, I repeat both, took all their clothes off and walked around the house naked.
Both of them in the house together naked?
That's right, Jerry. Hard as it is to believe in this day and age, they walked around the house naked, they watched TV naked, and it gets a lot worse than that, Jerry.
How could it possibly get worse?
They made love, not in the bedroom, but on the lounge room floor 4 times. And then Carl has a shower, and he comes out with a towel wrapped around his head. That's right.
I just had about enough. I think we gotta meet this commie-loving terrorist. Bring on Carl. Carl, try not What you gonna say about it?
What accusation?
You know, you were behind there when the show was going on. You heard the accusations. Answer them for our audience.
All I heard was confirmation that I live next door to a pervert. You paid $30,000 just to watch us making love. You're sicker than I thought you were.
Hey, that's not why I bought that equipment. I bought it to see if you was a God-fearing American, and you're not, buddy. Hey!
You're not a God-fearing American. I tell you what, if I ever met God, which I doubt because I don't believe in him, but if I did, I'd kick him in the teeth for what he was.
Show. Now, did I hear this right? Have I got this right in my head? Did you say that you don't believe in God?
Yeah.
Do you know how shocking that is?
Well, frankly, I don't really care.
Well, what about the accusations, the other accusations, Carl? That you don't own any property, you don't own any investments, don't you support the American way of life?
Well, if that's the American way of life, then no, I don't.
The other charges that, well, we needn't ask him about going to church, need we, folks? What about the other accusations that you and your so-called female partner walk around the house naked and with no clothes on?
Yeah, and not only have we made love in the lounge room, we've made love in the bathroom. And I object to this pervert's finance. Haven't you got anything better to do with your time?
Why, you little...
Oh, why don't you?
Get him off me, Jerry! Get him off me!
These communists, they're so violent. No, I just gotta ask you, now, what do the audience say?
Jerry!
Okay, let's go down in the audience. And, Malcolm, could you give us your name and tell us what you think about Carl?
My name is Julia Roberts, Mrs. Julia Roberts. And I've been married to my husband for 6 years, and I have never seen him naked. And I have never been to Cuba, because we're good Americans.
That's great.
God tells me that I should pray for you, but I just can't find it in my heart. You pervert!
Okay.
Shame!
My name is Mary Beth Rodowski, and I read about you in the Bible. You are the Antichrist. You should be blown off the bird and sent back to Russia. You filthy Antichrist. You go naked is when you communist and all.
My name is Paul Jones, and I saved this country by being a department store detective. Yeah! I don't like you. What's his name? Paul. I don't like you, Paul. I mean, the way you walk around the house naked. You're making love to your wife. I mean, you don't go to church, and you haven't got any shares.
Paul, I'm going to have to ask you again to stop being so violent. You're not in Russia now.
Well, you might keep facing up to me. And haven't you heard what
I
happened in
think all
Russia
the
over 10
audience
years
sees
ago?
what a violent little thug you are. Hey, audience?
Hey, haven't you heard what's happened in Russia over 10 years ago?
Once a commie, always a commie.
That's right, Jerry.
And I'll tell you what, you got a pretty rough view of communism. Let me explain it to you. You see,
I don't think we want to hear that kind of filth on here. I think we're going to beat him off the show. What do you say, audience? Let's beat him off, all right? Oh, yeah. Now it's time for my final thought of the day. Neighbors. Everybody needs good neighbors. With a little understanding, you could have a perfect friend. America's got great neighbors. Places like Britain and Saudi Arabia. Because our country's so great that it deserves good neighbors. But what about if your neighbor is bad? Like Cuba? Well, I'll tell you what you should do. You should nuke them. That's what America should do. It should nuke Cuba. Just as Michael should nuke Carl. And I'm sure every God-fearing member of the audience will agree with that. Good night. I'm Jerry, and God bless.